December 5th, 1945 seemed like any other day at the Naval Air Station, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The sun was a bright sentinel in a clear blue sky, and the sea was calm, its surface gently rippling under the mild winter breeze. 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, known as Flight 19, were gearing up for a routine training exercise. The crew, mostly young, were chatting and laughing, oblivious to the fact that they were about to become central figures in one of the most chilling mysteries of the 20th century. Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor, an experienced pilot with a calm demeanor, was leading the squadron. The mission was straightforward: a practice bombing run over the hens and chicken shoals in the Bahamas, then a flight north over the open ocean before turning back to the base. The sky was theirs, and confidence ran high among the men. As the bombers lifted off the runway, there was no indication of the horror that lay ahead. The first leg of the journey went as planned, with the pilots completing their bombing exercises without a hitch. It was during the second leg, over the Atlantic, that things began to unravel. The first sign of trouble was a crackling radio transmission from Taylor. "Both my compasses are out, and I'm trying to find Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm over land, but it's broken. I think I'm over the Keys, but I'm not sure how far down," he said, his voice laced with confusion. Back at the base, alarm bells rang. It was nearly impossible for both compasses to fail simultaneously. The ground crew responded, trying to guide them back. But Taylor's replies grew increasingly disoriented. "Everything looks strange, even the ocean," he transmitted, a note of panic creeping into his voice. The situation deteriorated rapidly. The weather, previously fair, seemed to turn on a dime. Taylor reported heavy fog and a sea that looked white as snow, a description that baffled the ground crew. The other pilots in the squadron, trained to follow their leader, were equally lost, their faith in their commander leading them deeper into the unknown. As night fell, the radio transmissions became more sporadic and fraught with terror. Ground control could hear the pilots discussing amongst themselves, their voices tinged with fear. "I don't know where we are," one pilot said. "We must have got lost after that last turn." The ground crew made a desperate attempt to triangulate their position, but it was like the planes had vanished into thin air. The last transmission from Flight 19 was the most chilling of all. "All planes close up tight," Taylor's voice crackled over the radio. "We'll have to ditch unless landfall. When the first plane drops below 10 gallons, we all go down together." And then nothing but static. The Navy launched one of the largest search and rescue missions in history, scouring the sea for any sign of Flight 19 or its crew. A pair of Martin PBM Mariner flying boats were dispatched, but one exploded shortly after takeoff, adding to the tragedy. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. No trace of Flight 19 or its crew was ever found. The official Navy report stated that it was as if they had flown to Mars. Theories abounded, from spatial disorientation to alien abduction, from time warps to government cover-ups. But none could satisfactorily explain the events of that fateful day. As the years passed, the story of Flight 19 became the stuff of legend, a horrifying tale of a routine training mission that turned into a nightmare. The Bermuda Triangle, already shrouded in mystery, became synonymous with unexplained disappearances. But the truth, as it often does, lay hidden beneath the waves, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. And when it did, it was more terrifying than anyone could have imagined. Part 2. The disappearance of Flight 19 wasn't just a loss. It was a mystery that defied explanation. The families of the lost airmen grieved, the Navy grappled with questions, and the world speculated wildly. As years passed, the incident became a cornerstone of Bermuda Triangle lore, a tale told to underscore the unexplainable power of this enigmatic region. But the story of Flight 19 was far from over. Decades later, a stormy night in 1995 saw another chapter unfold in the tale of Flight 19. Miles away from the Bermuda Triangle, in the quiet town of Hampton, Virginia, an elderly man named Thomas, a retired Navy signalman who had been part of the ground crew on that fateful day, woke up from a nightmare. He had dreamt of the lost planes, their crews calling out to him through the radio, their voices distorted by static and fear. Haunted by the dream, Thomas went to his attic the next morning and rummaged through old Navy memorabilia. He found a dusty box containing logs, reports, and a cracked radio receiver, a relic from his days at the Naval Air Station. On a whim, he connected the old receiver, not expecting anything but static. But what he heard was far from static. It was a faint, crackling transmission, a voice lost in time. "Flight 19 to base, do you read?" Thomas froze, his heart pounding. The voice, though faint, was unmistakable. It was the voice of Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor, the leader of Flight 19. Thinking it a trick of his aging mind, Thomas tried to dismiss it. But the voice came again, more urgent. "Flight 19 to base, we're lost. Strange fog, instruments malfunctioning. Do you read?" Thomas, his hand shaking, grabbed the microphone. "Flight 19, this is Base. Do you read me?" He responded, his voice a mix of fear and disbelief. The conversation that followed was surreal. The voice of Taylor, seemingly unstuck in time, spoke of a never-ending flight, of skies that never cleared and an ocean that seemed alien. The planes were low on fuel, the crew scared and confused. Thomas, grappling with reality, realized he needed evidence. He recorded the conversation and reached out to his old Navy contacts. But when experts analyzed the recordings, they were baffled. The voice matched historical records of Taylor, but the signal's origin was untraceable. As news of this bizarre incident leaked, it reignited interest in the Bermuda Triangle and the mystery of Flight 19. Theorists speculated about time warps and interdimensional phenomena, but most dismissed Thomas's experience as an elaborate hoax or a delusion. However, Thomas's experience was just the beginning. More reports started to emerge from different parts of the world. Sailors and pilots encountering ghostly planes that matched the description of Flight 19. Radio transmissions from the Lost Squadron interrupting modern communications, and even sightings of the planes, vanishing into thin air when approached. The phenomenon was sporadic and unexplainable, defying the laws of physics and time. Flight 19 had become a legend, a haunting presence that refused to be forgotten. Amidst the renewed frenzy over Flight 19, a group of researchers decided to delve deeper into the mystery. Led by Dr. Emily Santos, an expert in quantum physics and unexplained phenomena, the team sought to explore the Bermuda Triangle and its secrets. They theorized that if any place held the key to understanding the anomaly of Flight 19, it was there, in the heart of the triangle. Equipped with advanced technology and a deep-sea submersible, the team embarked on their expedition. The waters of the Bermuda Triangle were as enigmatic as the legend suggested, with deep underwater canyons and bizarre magnetic anomalies. As they explored the depths, their instruments began to behave erratically, echoing the accounts of Flight 19's final transmissions. And then, in a deep underwater canyon, they found something. Not the wreckage of Flight 19, but an anomaly unlike anything they had ever seen. It was a rift, a tear in the fabric of space and time, pulsating with an eerie light. The submersible's cameras captured images of the rift, and for a moment they glimpsed something on the other side. A sky, a different ocean, and the faint silhouettes of 5 bomber planes flying in formation. Dr. Santos and her team couldn't believe their eyes. The rift closed as suddenly as it had appeared, leaving them with more questions than answers. The discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The images and data collected by Dr. Santos's team suggested. Part 3. The discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The images and data collected by Dr. Santos's team suggested the existence of a phenomenon that defied conventional understanding of space and time. The rift they had encountered appeared to be a gateway to another dimension or reality, a finding that could turn the entire field of physics on its head. But the revelation was more than scientific. For those haunted by the mystery of Flight 19, it was a glimpse into a terrifying possibility. What if the Lost Squadron had unwittingly flown into this rift? Were they trapped in an endless flight through an unknown dimension, forever seeking a way back home? The story of the rift and the possible fate of Flight 19 caught the world's imagination. It became a sensation, drawing both fear and fascination. Documentaries, news specials, and online forums buzzed with theories and discussions about the Bermuda Triangle and its eerie powers. Meanwhile, strange occurrences continued to be reported from the triangle. Ships found abandoned with no sign of the crew, aircraft experiencing time lapses, and unexplained lights and shadows in the sky. The triangle seemed more alive than ever, a vortex of unexplained phenomena. As public interest grew, a team of paranormal investigators, led by the charismatic and daring Jack Reynolds, decided to venture into the triangle. Jack, a skeptic turned believer, was determined to uncover the truth about Flight 19 and the mysterious rift. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and a fearless crew, Jack's team sailed into the heart of the triangle. Their journey was live-streamed, captivating audiences worldwide with the promise of unraveling the age-old mystery. The expedition started smoothly, but as they neared the coordinates of Dr. Santos's rift discovery, things took a dark turn. The sea became rough, the sky darkened, and their instruments began to malfunction. The atmosphere was heavy with an unspoken dread, and the crew felt the weight of unseen eyes watching them. Then, in the dead of night, amidst a howling storm, it happened. A ghostly apparition appeared in the sky. 5 bomber planes, identical to Flight 19, emerging from the clouds, engines roaring in the silence of the night. The sight was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Jack and his team watched in disbelief as the planes flew in a tight formation, circling above them. Then, as suddenly as they had appeared, the planes vanished into a flash of blinding light, leaving behind a deafening silence. The live stream captured it all, sending viewers into a frenzy. The footage was undeniable. The ghostly planes, the sudden disappearance. The world was left to grapple with the reality of something beyond understanding. In the aftermath, theories and speculations ran wild. Some spoke of time loops and dimensional gateways, others of alien interventions and supernatural occurrences. But for those who had witnessed the apparition, the experience was deeply personal. They had touched the edge of a mystery that was larger and more profound than they could have imagined. The story of Flight 19 and the Bermuda Triangle had evolved from a historical mystery to a modern enigma, a tale of terror and fascination that transcended time. It stood as a reminder of the vast, unexplored mysteries that lie beyond the realm of known science. Mysteries that beckon the brave and the curious, offering glimpses into the unknown, into the heart of horror and wonder. Part 4. In the wake of the live-streamed apparition, the world's fascination with the Bermuda Triangle reached new heights. Theories proliferated, but so did the fear. The triangle was no longer just a maritime mystery. It had become a symbol of the paranormal, a gateway to horrors unknown. Meanwhile, Dr. Santos, deeply affected by the developments, assembled a new team for a second expedition. This time, her team included experts in paranormal phenomena and quantum mechanics, alongside seasoned deep-sea divers. Their mission was to delve deeper into the mysteries of the rift, and, if possible, establish some form of communication with whatever lay beyond. As they prepared, a series of bizarre incidents began to unfold across the globe. In Japan, a fishing vessel stumbled upon an ancient aircraft floating adrift, its design matching that of the Avenger bombers. In Scotland, near the infamous Loch Ness, a pilot reported a close encounter with a squadron of ghostly planes disappearing into a cloud. These incidents, while strange, seemed to be pieces of a larger puzzle, fragments of a story that stretched across time and space. Dr. Santos's team hoped to find the missing link, to unravel the narrative that connected these disparate events. Their expedition took them deep into the Atlantic, far beyond the boundaries of the known world. As they approached the coordinates of the rift, their equipment once again began to behave erratically. The sea turned rough, and a thick fog enveloped their vessel, reducing visibility to near zero. In the heart of this maelstrom, they found the rift again. It was larger this time, pulsating with a strange energy that seemed to beckon them closer. The team launched a remotely operated vehicle, ROV, into the rift, transmitting live footage back to the ship. The images that came through were startling. On the other side of the rift was not just empty space, but what appeared to be another world, a parallel Earth with its own oceans and skies. And flying through these skies were the planes of Flight 19, as real and as tangible as they had been 70 years ago. The pilots, visible in the cockpit, seemed unaware of the ROV, going about their flight as if stuck in a moment in time. The footage was mesmerizing, a window into a world that defied all logic. But then something unexpected happened. The lead plane, piloted by Lieutenant Taylor, seemed to notice the ROV. He maneuvered his plane closer, peering curiously at the camera. For a moment, their eyes met across dimensions, a silent acknowledgement of each other's existence. It was a breakthrough moment, a connection that transcended the barriers of time and space. But it was short-lived. Suddenly, the rift began to fluctuate, the images distorting, and then, with a violent burst of energy, it closed, severing the connection. Back on Earth, the team was left in awe and disbelief. They had made contact, however brief, with the lost squadron of Flight 19. It was a discovery that would change the world, a testament to the mysteries that lay hidden in the fabric of the universe. As news of their encounter spread, it ignited a global conversation about the nature of reality, the possibilities of parallel worlds, and the existence of phenomena beyond human understanding. The Bermuda Triangle, once a feared and avoided region, became a site of pilgrimage for scientists, thrill-seekers, and those who sought answers to the great mysteries of life. Flight 19 and the brave men who flew those planes were no longer just a tale of loss and mystery. They were a beacon, guiding humanity towards the unknown horizons of existence. Part 5. The encounter with the rift and the ghostly Flight 19 had opened a Pandora's box of mysteries and fears. The world watched, fascinated yet terrified, as the Bermuda Triangle transformed from a maritime enigma into a nexus of unexplainable phenomena. After the rift's closure, a palpable sense of unease settled over the scientific community. The images captured by Dr. Santos's team were analyzed and reanalyzed, but no concrete explanations emerged. The rift remained a haunting enigma, a door to a realm that defied human understanding. The fear intensified when a series of chilling incidents began occurring around the triangle. Ships passing through the area reported ghostly apparitions on their radar, only for them to disappear as suddenly as they appeared. Air traffic controllers received mysterious SOS signals from unknown sources, echoing through their headphones like whispers from the deep. Then came the most horrifying incident of all. A cruise ship, the SS Celestial, carrying over 300 passengers, ventured too close to the triangle. Initially, the journey was smooth, but as they neared the heart of the triangle, a dense fog enveloped the ship. The navigation systems failed, communication with the mainland was lost, and the ship drifted aimlessly. When the fog finally lifted, the SS Celestial was found adrift by a passing cargo vessel. The rescuers boarded the ship, only to find it completely deserted. The passengers and crew had vanished without a trace, leaving behind their belongings as if they had been plucked out of existence. The world was aghast. The disappearance of the SS Celestial was a disaster that brought the terror of the Bermuda Triangle into stark reality. Fear gripped the public imagination. The triangle was no longer a mere curiosity. It was a deadly, unexplained force. Amidst the growing hysteria, Dr. Santos proposed a daring theory. She believed that the rift was not just a doorway to another dimension, but a breach in the very fabric of reality, capable of altering time and space. She theorized that the SS Celestial and its passengers had been caught in this breach, pulled into an alternate dimension or erased from existence. Her theory, while controversial, gained traction, especially when reports of strange phenomena around the world began to surface. People claimed to see loved ones who had been aboard the SS Celestial in their dreams, speaking to them from fog-shrouded landscapes. Others reported eerie, unexplained occurrences, clocks stopping, mysterious shadows, whispers in the wind, as if the rift had unleashed something beyond comprehension. The Bermuda Triangle had become a source of global fear, a symbol of the unknown horrors that lurked just beyond the veil of reality. The area was declared off-limits, a no-man's land shrouded in mystery and dread. But the story was far from over. In the depths of the triangle, something stirred, a darkness that had been awakened by the rift. It was ancient, primordial, and it had been disturbed by the intrusion of humans into its realm. As this darkness began to seep into the world, the boundary between reality and nightmare blurred. The triangle was no longer just a place. It was a living, breathing entity, a keeper of secrets that mankind was not meant to know. In the shadows of this terror, the legend of Flight 19 lived on, a haunting reminder of the price of venturing into the unknown. The Lost Squadron had become part of the Triangle's lore, eternally flying in the limbo between worlds, a ghostly sentinel guarding the gateway to horrors untold. And as the world grappled with the terror of the Bermuda Triangle, the rift lay in wait, a silent watcher holding its secrets close, its appetite for mystery and fear unsated. Part 6. The Bermuda Triangle had become a realm of nightmares, a place where the boundaries between reality and the unfathomable were irrevocably blurred. The disappearance of the SS Celestial and its passengers had marked a turning point, instilling a pervasive dread that spread far beyond the triangle itself. In the months that followed, Dr. Santos, haunted by her findings and driven by an insatiable need for answers, organized a clandestine expedition. This time her goal was not just to observe the rift but to penetrate it, to uncover what lay beyond. Accompanied by a hand-picked team of scientists and paranormal experts, she set out under the cover of darkness, avoiding the prying eyes of the world. As they ventured into the heart of the triangle, the sea became a churning cauldron and the sky turned an ominous shade of black. The rift appeared before them, larger and more menacing than ever, pulsating with the malevolent energy. Undeterred, Dr. Santos ordered the submersible to approach the rift. As they drew closer, a chilling vision greeted them. Through the rift, they could see the other side, a mirror image of their world, but darker, distorted, a realm of shadows and whispers. Suddenly, the instruments began to scream, a cacophony of alarms and flashing lights. The submersible shook violently as if caught in the grip of an unseen force. And then, from the depths of the rift, something emerged. It was a creature of nightmares, a colossal entity, its form constantly shifting and changing. It was as if the sea itself had come alive, a manifestation of the triangle's darkest secrets and fears. The team watched in horror as the creature turned its gaze upon them, its eyes a void of despair. In the dark waters of the Atlantic, the triangle whispered its siren song, a melody of mystery and dread, an eternal lure for those brave or foolish enough to seek its truth.